What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Drawing with Jack. As you see, Jack is not here. Aaron is not planning to be here. Jackie is planning to be here, as far as I know. And we're supposed to have a guest, Payton Richardson, who is coming in. Um, so it's been one of those days, and it's actually been a couple of weeks. We're recording this in the cusp. As Virgo has been transitioning to Libra. And let me tell you, if you guys, if you're catching this live, I'm sure you'd all be like, ugh, yeah, me too. But if you're catching this in the future when it comes out, 2 weeks from now, we'll probably be in Libra. I mean, probably if we're still alive. But you know, just all of us are going to be moving into Libra at that time when this one comes out. But just think back 2 weeks ago, if you guys catch this as on YouTube when it premieres, and think about just how like it was. Um, so that's where we are now, pushing through. That's all you can do, really, right? Like in moments where it's like tough and everything's hectic, all you can do is just like keep taking one step at a time, and do what you got to do. Um, so here we are. I'm glad that we have these moments because it does give me a chance to speak to you guys directly and just thank you for being a part of the podcast. Whether you're a listener or you're a supporter on our Patreon or you come into the Discord, if you chat on YouTube with each other or if you go to our Facebook, like share, comment on videos, that's just I'm just really grateful that we have a growing audience. So keep doing that. I hope that we're providing the kind of content that you're interested in. If there's stuff that you want to see, just message us, right? You can do that by reaching out to any of us on any of our socials. And uh, there he is. What's up, Jack?
Oh,
How are you?
so I'm good, man. Sorry that I couldn't make it. I was talking to my roommates and I lost track of time. I apologize.
It's been that type of day. That's been happening to everybody. So I was just telling our good friends, the listeners, that you're probably going to be along at any time because that's been kind of the trend. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome,
Um,
everybody. This is
Thank you,
Jack.
thank you.
Jack Haynes, our illustrator for Cox and Space. You are on Drawing with Jack, which is a Cox and
Hell
Space
yeah.
podcast. So
Hell
I'm
yeah, it is.
excited about it. We're getting closer and closer to the conclusion of this. So
Yeah. It's
I'm very excited. As players are coming together. Uh, sorry, your thoughts.
yeah, yeah. Um I want to just like say, like happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
That is this like so we had our 40th episode not so long ago. So I think what this is like 44. Is this 44 or 45?
Yeah, we're right in 44 or 45. There's a lost episode in between, so the numbering
Oh,
is
that's
has
right.
has changed. So I think this is supposed to be 45 and it is 44, something along those
Okay.
lines. Yeah, so or maybe this is the 46th episode. Yeah, it's in that range. I could look it up if you would like to know.
No, no, you don't have to. No, no. I just wanted to like, kind of bring it up and just be like, if it
Oh,
was 45, like happy 45. But you're
yeah,
right, there's a
and
lost episode, so
the number. Yeah. So I stopped numbering them all together
okay.
because I mean they're kind of numbered on the YouTube, but we're not really a sequential podcast. I mean, we have drums that are going on at all time, but just because you catch one episode, doesn't mean you have to listen to the next episode. You could listen to
It's
any
true.
number of the episodes, and then you know uh, you're not gonna be
I
lost.
mean,
You get
you
to
won't be.
enjoy the drawing either way.
I mean, I think having a sequential thing would uh, like kind of give people a general like trajectory of the comic, but I'm really getting caught up at work, and I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to start taking my uh, pad in again and working on this on my own time.
Uh-huh.
And when that happens, like, like you may not. like there may be some continuity in the panel or
Right.
the work progress that won't be visible. So
Yeah, and as we said, we
I
have a
think
lost episode or two. Um, so again, it's not like, we don't have like a continuing story that you have to follow along with or anything like that.
yeah. Let me start trying to get like a little bit like of shading volume in here. Oh, I need to get it on man here. Let's see. Let's open up the palette. How was your day today? How are you doing today, my friend?
Oh wow. Okay, there's so many things that I cannot say on air. But just say, let me say this is that I'm going through a major depressive slump right now, and
Oh no.
yeah, coming on to like hang out is like one of those things that I just look forward to because I'm like, you know what? It might like everything might be shit, but at least tonight I'm gonna hang out with Jackie and we're gonna draw. Um,
Hell yeah.
so that uh you were hanging out with Robin the other night, right? Speaking of how we never reference anything non-sequentially or sequentially,
Yeah.
but if you guys want to check it out, the Robin episode, but like her suggestion was, like when you're in those places, of course, you need to not give up and stop doing things. Instead, you need to get up and keep doing things and make yourself
Yeah, right.
get up and keep doing things because it's not going to feel better until you do. Um,
Right.
so not gonna lie, like there's been like a whole bunch of like, because we get together almost every night of the week for one reason or another. And so for the last couple of weeks, there's been like almost every night I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I have the energy to go do this thing. And I'm like, no, it's gonna be fun and you're gonna enjoy it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel
um
that. I feel that. It's sometimes hard to really get yourself to go out like
yeah,
and face people, I
for
mean,
sure.
I'll say for I'll say for myself, like I generally try to be a people person. I try to be positive, but sometimes I'm just like really over being around people and I will just own that.
Right.
It's not like a great trait. It's not like something that I'm proud of, but it's just like a true thing about me where I'm just like, I don't want to hear any voices right now. I don't want
Right.
to,
Right.
and I really think that that's, like I've given into that too much in my life and it's made me more of a, I don't know, not shut in, but just like somebody that like, will leave a party early, will leave a place early, will not try to seek out like connection and just, this like just be so into the idea that this isn't serving me, so I gotta go.
Right.
And I've been
There he
trying to
is.
turn around on that.
What's
Was that
up?
Aaron?
Our guest is Peyton Richardson, and Peyton, I'm gonna give you. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I'm really excited that he's coming on. I'm gonna give you membership access right now. So why don't you log out of the chat and then log back in? And yeah, no, Peyton. Well, I'll introduce you guys when he comes back in. I've been excited to talk to him for a while, and he finally had time. Peyton Richardson, welcome to Drawing with Jack, with our good friend Jack Haynes.
All right, cool. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
At, at long last, I had so many issues getting this working.
I'm
Sorry to
glad
hear that.
that you were able to make it. Though that's we were just talking about the same thing. That with we were trying to make our days happen. And actually, Aaron's not joining us tonight because he was doing the same thing. He was just trying to make his day happen, and one thing after another just kept happening. So
Yeah.
100%.
I was like, yeah, that's what's happening. So I was like, what is going on? We're cusping through from Virgo into Libra, and the conflict between those two signs is what we've been experiencing for like the last week. Like
I love this.
So something's
Vir
in Gatorade, and we need to find.
yeah, well,
Tell
Virgo's
us what's
very
wrong.
like orderly and needs everything in a certain place, and Libra's like so chill and wants to go with the flow that those two just do or oil and water, you know what I mean? And like that's what it's been feeling like. It's just like, oh God, part of me wants to like lock in, or the other part of me wants to chill out, you know? I can't do both at
Lock in.
once. Yeah.
Felt
Um,
that.
I generally think of astrology to understand like people,
Yeah.
And not to like feel like I really understand them, but just to understand what the potentialities could be and how to just like, I don't know, think differently than my normal intuition does
There you
about
go.
what could be true. But thinking about what it means for us, like in the orbit of the planets and stuff, has always just like really tickled me. But I mean, I do notice that like things like when there's a full moon, like people are more wild. I don't
People do
know if
get
that's just
crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
correlation does not equal causation, but I mean, I do see that, and so I do
Yeah,
wonder
there's
about.
definitely audacity in the air.
Yeah. Well,
But
and it's this is the thing that gets me, and like again, I for the same reason, I think it's like interesting that this is the case, and this is the only reason I've like noted it. I'm like fully
mhm,
skeptical about it too. So like it's not like I'm like, oh yeah, these are the facts. But like
yeah,
when all of us collectively are starting to experience something, I start to be like, wait, is this something like bigger than us? Like whatever we are as a larger entity is like being influenced by something, like the moon, for
uh
instance.
right,
And then like for me, it like gives me a way to like put words around what I've been feeling. You know, I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah,
oh, because it's like I'm like, oh, right, Virgo cusping with Libra does actually make sense because of that high
yeah,
contrast, and it's gonna
yeah.
set everybody up. Because I've been noticing that too. Like I'm not the only one who's been feeling weird. Like everyone's been kind of like weird. So anyway,
Everyone is weird for sure.
everybody's been like
But
behaving more weird.
but I just want to be like clear on my. I mean, like I don't believe that it's because of the planet orientation that does it. But to me, it's more of a thing of like, oh, this could be true right now, and this is just like another way that it could like introduce to me the fact that this could be the state of things. Like not because of the planets
No,
necessarily, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it is the planets, but it's just like I don't know. So I'm just going to be
right.
like, to me, like I don't believe that it's the planets, but I mean, it could still be that just the situation is that like everybody does just feel this way right now for one reason or another, and
Could
that's
be.
like what's going on.
It could
So
be.
like
Yeah.
I
I
that's
mean,
mean,
that's the way that I
I
think
think
about it.
it's probably more likely that during certain times of the year we have different things going on and different emotions running at that time of the year, festivals that are going on and
Hmm.
shit like that that more influences people you emotionally in the moment and long term rather
yeah.
than probably a planet sitting somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Which
that's
which
just
But
not
it's fun
to.
to play make
which
believe
I
sometimes.
which I I agree with as well. So at first I was when I first started looking at this, I was probably like 22 or 23, which is a long time ago for me now, like 15 or 17 years, something like that. Um, I guess it's not that long ago, but yeah, it's coming on like 2 decades. But so I was like, no, that can't be true. Let me just take a look, and I'm gonna note, like, well, when people's birthdays are, or what time of year it is, and like that sort of stuff, just to be aware of like as the passing is happening. So
Yeah.
that's the way that I've always approached it. Here's what I actually think it is, if you guys are interested, is because I
Sure,
don't
absolutely.
I don't think it's the planets at all. I think what it actually is from the initial explosion of the universe and the way that pattern is spinning in a fractal shape. I think we're all a part of the same like pulse together, and that each one of those cycles has like an attitude to it. Like the seasons changing, like the cause of the seasons changing is the same thing that causes like human behavior to change, like and causes like the groups of humans behaviors to change. And I think that's
Gotcha.
like, yeah, I think it's some like sort of like instinctual thing that all creation has in it because of the way that the poles are moving. Like the planets are like circling each other. So it's not really about the planets themselves, but like that we're a part of this thing, and it feels different
Mhm.
things at different times. That's kind of the bigger concept on it. But I don't know. These are just thoughts
I
that
mean,
I've had over a bunch of years. Um,
Mm,
Peyton Richardson, one of the reasons I had invited him on is because he's had like a lot of psychedelic experience, and that's why I'm like
nice.
that was part of the where I was like, have you
Love that
felt
for you,
that?
Peyton.
Have you guys like? Because that came sort of like from a tripping thought, right? Like the feeling that we are like all one, right? We're
Yeah,
connected to this thing that's in motion. And that's
yeah.
lineage
I
as
mean, I
much
think
as it
that's true
is
in a
like,
way.
yeah, we're riding a planet. Um, do you want to jump in and share any of your thoughts on time, space,
Um,
God?
I mean,
Time,
as far as
space,
what you're
God.
talking about right
I'm
now
just
in this moment, I think that I kind of agree with what you're saying a little bit, like parts that, but I also think humans typically tend to over romanticize things a lot of the time, which is valid and understandable.
That is
You want
true.
your life to be
We want to
romantic,
we want to put
but
personality into everything, right?
it's like one of those things. It's more likely that the reason that people born around a certain time of year have certain personality traits is largely because of what goes on where they are around that time of the year and how that influences you. Like,
Right.
classically, people think that Western Scorpios like creepy shit. And I don't think that's because, Scorpio happens to be in the
Right. It's just Halloween that's happening at that time, right?
cake and ice cream, right? So I like creepy shit.
Right, right.
But I definitely, I think there's something to the connectedness thing. I think that's valid to a point. I think definitely, we're all made of the same stuff that was there at the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
And we're sort of, like the stars were cooking at the beginning, and now it's looking back at itself, asking what it is, right? And I think that's just a bigger version of what we all do every day, right? Like I've definitely had times in my life where I didn't understand anything, didn't really know what's going on, where I wanted to go, or what was going to happen, and I'm just like, what am I?
Right.
Who am I?
Right.
I think the universe is definitely doing that to itself through us.
Yeah.
Right, 100%. And I think God's probably just the force that connects us, and it's probably not conscious.
Right.
But like I said, humans like to play make believe, right? And it's nice. We got Santa Claus, organized religion, and shit like that.
Right,
that's why we have it, because it makes it easier.
And government. Why didn't you put government on the list? We like to believe that thing functions on our behalf, right? Like,
well, government is not make
I don't
believe.
believe that at all.
It is
philosophically
a fiction,
government. Well, no, government philosophically is one of the core concepts of what is needed as part of or I don't know. It's like one of the problems of humanity, like governance, because we need it. It's like accepted that we all need to be governed by something, even if it is the idea of chaos, like anarchy, like the idea that there is no government is still an idea of government.
Right, right.
So it's like you can't escape the need for governance.
I wasn't leaning anarchist or anything like that. What I was saying is that
well, I'm not saying you were.
No, but we believe that a thing exists, and so then we put the terms together and make it such a thing, right?
Right.
Well, I think a lot of those things
do
definitely exist, regardless, right? Like government exists, whether it's self-governance or some larger, more abstracted version like the U.S. government. That's why it gets cartoonishly evil, because most people just simply are horrific, right?
Right. They just need something to hide behind so they can get away with it.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like, and it's, I think at that point it gets kind of complicated, like I'm half white, but I got a tribe card, right? So I got kind of mixed feelings on the subject. You know what I mean? I get into the national park for free, but I'm real sick of the fucking turkeys in Columbus Day.
I think that every person, I think, has a kind of understanding of their perspective being limited. Like, there's just no way they'll ever be able to know with any kind of certainty a lot of things in the world, in the universe. So, being able to have shorthand, like, beliefs, superstitious beliefs and stuff like that, give people the ability to leap beyond rational thought to be able to feel like they have a handle on things that might be just 100% chaotic and just don't have, an algorithm of certainty.
Right.
But, I think understanding that that's what it is and still being able to accept that maybe it's true, even if it isn't a superstitious thought, is, the real tonic, because you can be open to, new information, but still, not really be hung up on it. Well, how do I know that? How do I know this to be empirically true? Like, it's not ever going to be. You're a human being. You can't perceive it.
There's a
I mean, I sort of agree with that in a way. I also, all religions are kind of have the same ideas for a reason, right? So I would agree that that's definitely, a lot of it can be superstitious nonsense, because most people in the United States, for example, most people read at a 6th grade level. right?
Yeah.
The Bible is a 10th grade book if it's the NIV translation, which is the easiest one,
Right,
right?
facts. And even if it's in the right, like, a language you can understand, that book
Yeah,
is complex
even if
and
it's
not easy to
in plain
understand.
English,
Yeah.
most Americans simply aren't educated enough to understand it, right? And at that point, sadly, a lot of what is being communicated with that is lost in translation because most people simply either don't understand nuance or refuse to acknowledge it, right? And at that point,
right.
you know, it's you're either stupid or you're manipulating the stupid people, and it's very rare that someone that does understand the nuance wants to pass that along, and even rarer that that person has the opportunity to do so.
Right, because there's people listening.
That person's
right,
usually silent.
Right.
Yeah, because we put them on crosses and hit them with rocks.
I mean, if you read the text right,
you know,
yeah, if you do exactly what the book says, then you should be murdered by the general population.
You're gonna get murdered like fast as shit.
Which
right?
is like, weird that they never.
I mean, I don't think that's weird at all. I think that's totally
it's weird that they,
when you view the human as an animal.
Yeah.
right?
I didn't get to finish the thought. It's weird that they missed that point. Right, because it's like this centerpiece of the religion, right? Like,
well, I think the religion.
Like, if you want to do it, you got to do it like me.
People miss the point that it's all analogy, right? Because people don't take the cultural context into consideration. They don't take the historical context into consideration, and then they create all these ideas that really just boil down to, I don't like black people, women, or gay guys, right? And let's kill those guys because they look a little different, act a little different than me, and now I can have all the money and I don't have to worry about competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at the end of the day, humans are just predators, and we're the most efficient predators in the world.
Of course.
Right?
So you're like, why do humans have psychopaths? You're like, oh, of course, because we're apex predators. And that's what some motherfuckers do. I'm not defending it. I'm saying it just makes sense.
Well, I mean, it's kind of required for the species to propagate pre-industrial revolution, right? Because up to that point, we didn't have ready access to things like food and stuff like that, right? And you have to have the guy that doesn't feel bad about killing an entire village for the corn, right? Otherwise, everyone starves.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And eventually, we get to modern day where that just doesn't work anymore. But, you know, we had to have the berserkers or we would have starved to death because nothing grows here. Right.
It's always funny to me that people make the point that we needed to have those people, but never, you know, like, and I'm not saying that you're not doing this, but whenever I hear this argument come up where people are like making the argument, but we had to have these like sociopaths and psychopaths in the past because we had to be able to get to the point of blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, who do we need to have now though? Like, who's making the sacrifice to like push themselves back because they know they're too sociopathic, even though they're just like not even that sociopathic, but they're too sociopathic for the time now. Like, no one ever takes that thought and brings it into the present or towards the future and be like, this is where we need to be headed so that we can maximize the like place that we've gotten to. And that always infuriates me because it's like, well, if it's true that we needed those people then there's the truth that we need certain kinds of people now, and those people aren't probably psychopaths or sociopaths because we've created more order.
Well, I think that's actually arguably super true.
Okay.
And I think what's happening now is that we, like I said, you know, we did need those people to get to this point. But now that we've gotten to this point, the same way that those people were winning evolutionarily, right? Because they had more food, therefore they had more mates, and then they had more children, and their genes spread faster.
Right.
Those people are now, you see those people every day, right? Like, you talk to them, you're just like, there's just something a little fucking off about this guy, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, goddamn
and then,
people.
like, yeah, literally. And then that guy usually ends up becoming an incel. Which is a whole nother topic, but and that guy ends up not having kids. And at this point, people look out in the world because we have mass media. Like, the world's more dangerous than ever. The world is safer than it's ever been.
Yeah,
right. The world is safer right now than it has ever been before, and it will be safer tomorrow than it is today. And that's because those people are slowly weeding themselves out of the gene pool because we just don't need them anymore, right? And now we don't, because like the Vikings. So we're all psychopaths. But what would display these characteristics, and they go, oh, that's a child of Odin. And they would put them in a camp by themselves because that guy's gonna fucking kill someone. Let's let them beat the shit out of each other, right? And then we just take them somewhere. It's like, yeah, dude, like I drank all this fucking honey wine and I ate this mushroom that makes you look really small, right? And then eventually those guys are just weeding themselves out, sort of like the ancient humans on the cliffs, right? The ones that had thumbs that were too opposable on their feet just died climbing, and now we got big toes, right? And it's just gonna go away. It'll be a vestigial structure. It's probably take another 4,000 or 5,000 years, and that'll probably mostly be gone.
You think
because
humans
nature,
are last?
I think nature tends towards efficiency, right? And efficient simply because it works better, right? See, at this point now that we have ready access to resources, we don't have to fight for them as much. Efficiency looks more like sharing and common compassion, common courtesy, and common understanding of working together, where before efficiency was my village is bigger than yours, right? And that's just not the way of the world anymore, and I don't think evolution will follow an old track, right? And I mean, historically, we have mass extinction event after mass extinction event after mass extinction event because the things that were working previously just stopped working because the rules changed eventually. And I think that's something we're coming up on now as modern people that is just going to take time to go away.
Yeah. I was reading about the I can't remember what it was called, but it was some memorandum that was sent in the 1970s from some businessman to a senator. I was basically saying that, hey, we educated people too much during the space race and World War II because, we wanted to beat the Nazis and we wanted to beat Russia. And now we have this generation of educated people that want like rights and they don't want to accept the fact that they're supposed to be laborers in a capitalist society. And we need to make sure that we turn that around and only educate the people that are going to be leading these people.
My God.
And
this is got Ayn Rand.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the thing that you're talking about is the education of people in the 20th century is one of the things that really brought about everything that you're speaking about, where people are able to recognize their place in the world and recognize things like the fact that in certain times, this kind of person was necessary. And, I don't know, just the gift of education and the democratization of technology, which is one of the things that's being taken away from us now. And one of the things that is trying to drive us back. And I like what you said about nature, because nature is looking for the most efficient, but if we make a mistake that, is a, extinction level event, then nature, the most efficient thing for nature may be to regress. And,
I mean, at that point, that was wildly inefficient, right? And it didn't work. It's kind of like humans got to the intelligence level that we're at because being smarter than we are on average just doesn't work, right? Because if you look at, studies show that smarter people generally tend to suffer from things like depression and anxiety, right? And if you have an entire species full of very smart hominids, they're just going to sit around wondering what's going to happen, right, all the fucking time, and then they never get up and go kill the deer, right, and then they just starve to death, right? So it just doesn't work.
Right.
I do think you're right, though, and I think it's right now it's kind of a scary time because we are losing the democratization of technology, and we're having to find back alleys to communicate with each other, where the whole thing that they told me when I was a little kid, this is the greatest country in the world, and I'm becoming an adult finding out that's not true. Right. And I think that's the part about it that sucks is you want to make the place that you live better for yourself and your neighbors because that's what a good person does. But then all the people in power well, if you don't like it, just leave. Well, what the fuck? And then that just doesn't work, right? That doesn't work. So we're just supposed to make it worse, right? And then that same person will look at an immigrant and go, why don't you go back and fix your country, right? Well, what the fuck? What do you want? You can't have both, right?
Yeah. It is, I mean, and that's the thing, it was education, where people, it's people have the freedom to make that kind of remark, but then truly be taught that it's wrong, or that it's not, a productive, progressive idea that's going to bring about better things for humanity. I mean, you can feel that way, but it's just not going to be better, and here are all the empirical reasons why not.
I think the good news about that, though, is that the same way that I think the psychopath thing will eventually weed itself out of the gene pool,
Yeah.
Most of those people are old, and most young people don't think that way for a reason, right? Because generally, like I said, nature moves toward the efficient, and the efficient is an IQ around 105, right? That's about good, perfect bathwater, right? And I think we're kind of tending toward that because people are getting smarter and more educated, but we have to give them the tools to make that possible. I got my education in a public library because I was born in Louisiana, right? And they don't teach you how to do shit like read. And they're like, books are for stupid people, right? And they're just mad because they don't know how to read them.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But I think, and it kind of goes to show that line of thinking doesn't work and also will weed itself out, because if you look at, say, Massachusetts, right? It is the only state where 100% of the state leaned left in the last election, right? Every single county in Massachusetts voted for Harris, right? And they're number one in everything, right? And then Oklahoma was the only state that leaned 100% to Donald Trump, and they're number 48, 49, and 50 in everything.
Jesus
right? So we have evidence that this doesn't work, and those people are eventually just going to starve to death, right? And then their genes don't go on anymore, and it'll be, one hillbilly at a time, right, until we're out of the woods. And it's probably just going to take a while.
No, they might be there's a split off where previously there was a split off in the human race, where the animals just they couldn't adapt, so they couldn't survive.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, and that's absolutely true. It is kind of a picture of the afterpithecine problem, right, where half of them became early hominids and then the other half stayed in the forest and it became apes, right? And the difference was whether or not you're brave enough to climb the cliff, right? Well, yeah, they did.
Well, they became
when that split happened. That second group of humans that stayed in the forest became the precursor to modern apes like gorillas, or orangutans, chimps, and stuff like that.
My guy.
The ones that climbed the cliffs turned into Homo erectus, right, and then discovered fire. And then we lived on cliffs for like 100,000 years.
How are you leaving Bigfoot out of this?
We think Bigfoot's son has entered the chat and that somebody took a furry kink a little too far.
We just have to remember the ape that has the foramen magnum and a small brain, I guess.
Well, that was the other thing that kind of differentiated hominids too, because when hominids started to emerge, the tops of those cliffs had a bunch of mushrooms growing on them, and then that's where we ended up living. And right around the time that hominids started eating a bunch of magic mushrooms, our brains started to develop.
No coincidence.
And then we got fire
there.
Not long after. Yeah, absolutely zero coincidence.
Like that.
100%. That had nothing to do with it.
Dude, can you imagine having a bad trip as a fucking ape?
Jesus
oh my
Christ.
God, I'd kill myself.
Well, it'd be self-realization either way, but it'd be like this existential horror where you're like, God damn, I'm a monkey, right?
You're like, did I just learn a word? What the fuck?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it had to have been scary.
Yeah, because you can't describe it. No one can be like helping you through it. You have no way to talk to yourself. It's just like images flashing.
Well, I mean, those are the most productive kind anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
Think about, this.
I'm gonna turn the lights off and turn all the sounds off, and I'll be back in 8 hours.
Yeah. You don't even have any music. You don't have fucking.
Well, dude, I feel like music is nice if you're taking like a gram or two, right? That's awesome, right? You want to go have some fun with friends. If you want to find yourself, you need blackout curtains and soundproofing.
I mean, those are.
Do it in a cave. Yeah.
And grams, and just call me tomorrow and tell me what happened.
Dude, I mean, sometimes those are. I mean, dude, I definitely know what you're talking about. I've had those spiritual journeys where I just took too many mushrooms, but man, those are the scary ones. Where you're you're having a conversation.
Yeah, they are. I'm never going back in there again. You can't fucking make.
It's true. I will say this, the first time, because I used to be really good friends with these guys that were really into mushrooms, and they wanted to try them in every single way. So one night they made it into a tea, Yeah, they like made psilocybin tea, which is really hard to do,
Shit.
but this kid was like a chemist and he like fucking did it. And
That
dude,
takes 4 hours to make that shit.
oh shit, and he was
Wow.
working it. He was slaving in the kitchen. I was there the whole time. And dude, when we drank this tea, right? I will never forget this, man. Like I saw stars like fucking spin across, like literal like fucking little suns spin across my vision and shit.
Yeah,
Like when I
100%,
started
yeah.
coming up. And dude, like I felt the ability to like stop my heart. Not saying that I really had it,
Yeah.
but I was
Right,
like feeling
No,
my
I feel
heart
you.
beating, and I was like, I can control this right now. And I
It's
like
like the
thought
moment
about
you just become a Tool album as a person,
Yeah.
right? Like,
exactly,
All
and you can like
from
see
your
it.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like talking
like, I
to your
understand what they were
veins and
talking
shit.
about when they did the pot, right? Like,
Yeah, it was, dude, it was too much. It was too much for a human mind. I was just like, I can slow my heart, and I just felt it starting to slow down. Now it freaked me the fuck out.
you know what gets me about it is like when you have those moments, right, and you realize all these things, and then you come down and you're like, fuck, and you don't understand any of it anymore, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And all you have is this big picture, and you're like, I don't even know how to tell anybody about this.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Too many thoughts.
Because I either don't have the words because the words don't exist, and now I have to
Right.
write you a poem or a song to explain it,
Fair.
or you'll just think I'm fucking nuts, right? And
Yeah.
I think honestly, that's probably why, like books like the Bible are structured the way that they are, because it's a poem that's trying to communicate this ineffable idea, right? Because
Right.
fun fact,
Especially if you talk
ancient
about
Egyptian
the Torah.
temples and ancient Jewish temples, right? There have been, bowls have been found that have residue from DMT containing and MAOI containing plants on them
There you go.
in ancient Jewish temples. And the Egyptian tree of life is also known as an acacia tree, which is the second highest concentration of DMT in a plant in the world, right after Citrina.
Not a
Right?
coincidence.
Yeah, not a coincidence.
No,
and
they're seeing God
another
in the
plant that
temple?
grows
There's
wild
no
around
way, bro.
Egypt is Syrian rue, which is one of the most potent monoamine oxidase inhibitors in the world too. You put them together in some water and you boil that shit for a while, you're going to see God, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Nothing
Yeah.
else to do in the desert sometimes, so.
Yeah, it's incredible when you think about the like paths that we've had, because people have been open to having their mind expanded in that way. But you know, I really wish that, because again, like now we have psychology, we have psychiatry, we have this understanding of, not this total understanding, but just this like a footstep into understanding the human mind that's better than any other time. And we still have people that are just like so afraid of, I don't know what, like the devil getting to them through substances or something. I don't even know.
Like knowing themselves. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It actually comes from the Reagan era of things, where it's like they know people are smoking pot in Vietnam. There's, the acid is being dropped and the mushrooms are happening, and they're like, oh shit, if they become self-aware, they can't be good capitalist slaves.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it was less that and more that typically those kinds of substances and experience come out of communities of people of color.
That also,
because,
right?
like,
I mean,
prime
marijuana is
example,
called
like
that.
peyote is a 100% an indigenous thing, right? So they killed all of it. Marijuana was a thing that brought everyone together, but was also enjoyed by black people and indigenous people.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we can't have them getting along because they'll gang up on us. We got to kill that too, right? And then they used Mexicans as a straw man for it too. They were like, oh, there was an ad that ran that said that marijuana makes Mexicans thirst for white female blood, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they ran it in every major newspaper for like
My
20
God.
fucking years, right? And that's how they got it illegalized. And like ayahuasca, for example, is a thing that Arabs and indigenous people share, right? With different recipes, different contexts, but we do still both use it.
Same purpose, right? Yeah.
And they were like, well, we couldn't kill all of them because some of them were just too pissed off to die, right?
Yeah.
We can't have them coming back together again. Like, that's why they outlawed the ghost dance, was for the same reason. It had nothing to do with, they understand more, but it's more that it's something that can be used as a glue spiritually to bring people together. And when people have a spiritual glue,
Oh, right.
typically they're a lot harder to kill, right?
Well,
Because
we've been
think
talking
about it
about
like
that a
this:
lot.
like someone that's in an army is here for a paycheck, right? Somebody that's trying to protect his wife and kids, you got to kill the army. You got to shoot the army guy twice, he's dead. You're gonna have to shoot that guy 20 times, right?
Right.
You know, like that dude's gonna walk a lot further with losing a lot more blood and kill a lot more people, and they just can't afford the risk.
Yeah.
Right, because it threatens the power structure at hand.
Yeah.
And that's just not their motive. They want to keep us all sort of subservient out of fear. Right, is the thing.
Absolutely. I also think sometimes when I'm thinking like this, the power of faith, and I'm not talking about religious faith, but just like the power of believing in an idea, because Aristotelian thought says that for something to come to fruition, you have to have the final form, which is actually the first thing that you have. Like you have to have the vision of the finished thing to be able to start it and move on to all the other steps.
100%. It's like the cave problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think about that when it comes to things like winning a war, because it's like there's no foregone conclusion that you're going to win a war. You have to believe that you will. And if you
100%.
have certain motivations, I think the formulation in your mind can bring about better ideas or just better executions, maybe. I don't know. But I think that men that believe that they can win something because they have to, because they believe in, their family, or they believe in their community, or they believe in their country, or they believe in this, that, needing to go on, they're more likely to win, even if they're outgunned and outmanned and everything like that. Because
100%.
Yeah,
right. That's why Little Bighorn happened, and the winning side had less technology, right?
Right. Exactly.
Because it's like one side had more motivation, and the other side was like, yeah, we can just walk in a straight line. The other side was like, what if we all rush the hill all at once, right? A bunch of us are going to die, but a bunch more of them are going to die, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think you're right. That community glue incites bravery, and the faith itself too, right? Because it's like the Bible says that faith without works is dead. That it's not that that faith that works is what fixes your life so much as it's if you believe in something, you're going to act on it, right? And if you don't believe in anything, you're going to sit on your couch and waste away forever, and that's definitely true. Right. That's why most addicts die, because they just don't have anything to believe in, right? And that's why most people are dead on the inside. Most of the people that are, anyway, right? And I think that's why people that believe they're going to live longer. Because if you think the cancer is going to kill you, and you just end up laying down and dying.
Right.
Yeah.
People
you have to have access.
Yeah, and I think it's really healthy to have a good amount of go fuck yourself in the center of your chest sometimes, right? You know what I mean?
For sure.
Well, that's what makes you get up and keep going.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? Right?
You haven't beat me yet. You can't.
Yeah,
I'm not going to.
I'll either win or I'll die.
Yeah.
But if I die, I'm going to die climbing the hill, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what the human trait is, right? Like we're the ones who are like, nope, we're going up there.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's why humans are so successful. Because other animals can run faster, they can see better, they can hear better, they got thicker skin. But you can run 50 miles an hour for 20 minutes, right? I can run 10 miles an hour for a month, right? You know what I mean? And eventually you're going to run out of steam, and I'm going to fucking catch you, right? Humans are the real-life Michael Myers, but to animals. And now, like they're scared of us. They're like, no, he'll point a stick at something and push a button and some shit just dies, right? We don't know what the fuck happened to him.
Yeah, I had never thought about that. Like what animals? I mean, because we know what guns are.
Stay away from that fucking dude, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, all they know is that we just look at shit and it just falls down.
It's like boom. They're like, oh my god.
Yeah. I saw a video the other day of Maasai warriors in Africa. They will just gather in a small group, 3 or 4 guys with spears, and they'll just stare at lions they just got to kill, and then they'll just slowly walk up to the lions. And the lions will be like, wait, what the fuck are these things doing? And they'll scatter at first.
To fight back.
They scatter because they're like, what the fuck is about to happen? We don't know. And they're more scared than wanting to and that's true. They let them eat for a little bit, but they just stare at them. They let them eat for a little bit, and then they just walk up on them. They don't even they just walk up on them, and the lions just run away for about 15 minutes, and
Yeah,
then
'cause
they
they're
come back.
terrified.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's got to be terrifying for a
Right.
lion because everything runs away from them.
Yeah,
and there's
it's the
this
first
thing
time they're
just
seeing
walking
that.
towards them. They're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Exactly. They're like,
Did
what
I
the
just
fuck? These
become a
guys are what?
gazelle? Like,
He's not
Yeah.
scared of me. Yeah.
am I cooked right now? Like,
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, that's, I mean, that perseverance is what like makes us human. I think, Peyton, for you, that's like a personal trait because like you've been through some shit, man. And I think that like that's why you need to have that like in a positive way, a fuck you in the middle of your chest. Because
yeah, 100%.
we met when I was homeless. And I think you're in the same situation, right?
I was homeless too. Yeah.
Yeah, so we met in a shelter. And just from there, I know your life is completely different now.
It's kind of like the opposite of what it was like before. It's crazy.
Do you want to share a little bit on either one of those sides, or like somewhere in the middle?
I mean, sure. What do you want to know? Like, do you want more after? Because you were kind of there for the during.
Yeah, for sure. I just for like more about our listeners, like what it means to like persevere. Because I know that I got onto the streets because
I think
I decided to give up.
Like,
yeah.
Well, I think that's part of the process, right? You got to come to a point where you're just like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Right.
Because for me, I don't know that it was ever really like I did a lot of drugs, but I don't know that drugs are really the problem.
Right.
I think more the problem is, I had a rough upbringing, and that does something to you, know. And I got attached to the misery, right? And like if I don't want to kill myself, I don't know what I want, right? And you get attached to the depression, right? Like I still struggle, like I still have times where I'm like, I'm fucked up for like 2 weeks, right? But I don't deal with it the same way I used to, right?
Right. Wait, so hang on. So you're saying that you'd felt depressed for so long, like from being a kid onwards, that
it became
you felt normal doing
identity.
that. Right. Yeah, exactly. So if
it
if you
became an
weren't
identifier,
depressed,
right?
Okay, I'm with you. Thank you.
Right, well, because that was all I could really feel because I had that for so long that I just became numb, right?
Yeah.
And if I don't feel pain, I don't feel anything at all, right? And that's something that I've definitely dealt with and I've gotten better with, but I still have times where I'm like, emotionally fucked for, long periods of time, but now because I've made it to the top of the mountain before, I know I can do it again, right? And I just keep doing it because my other option is to be the problems that created that. Right, and I would die first. Right, I will die first. Because it's one of those things like if I hadn't blown it up, I would inherit the biggest meth lab in Texarkana when my dad died. Right,
Dang.
But well, I mean, my dad was real bad on meth and heroin and alcohol. And I grew up in an abusive home, and so did he. And arguably his childhood was way worse than what he did to me. The justice was karmic, but
is bad.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
right?
no, I get the understanding, like where you're like it's been passed on.
Yeah,
which I also agree
generational.
with.
You know what I mean? Because like my dad's family, a lot of them still live on the res, right? And there's a lot of generational trauma associated with that, right? That does things to you. That's why we struggle with alcoholism and crime and things like that, right? Because those are stereotypes. Unfortunately, there is some truth to it. It's not 100% true 100% of the time the way that white America would paint it. But there is some truth to it.
No, but also, I mean, if you want to talk about generational,
it fucks you up,
sorry,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you broke up. My internet connection's not awesome here.
That's okay. Please continue.
But it messes with you, and it changes who you are on a deep spiritual level, right? And eventually, there just has to come a person at a certain point that is just done with it, right? And I think that was me, right? And that was my brother. because my dad had 10 kids, right?
Wow.
But I only really know Tyler, right?
Okay.
And I think eventually, it's one of those things like, it runs in the family, but this is where it runs out, right? And somebody just has to get there.
Yeah, totally
And I
true.
think that's kind of
Just
just
'cause it's
where I got to, right? Is
Right.
doesn't mean that my kids are going to deal with it, right? Because that's not happening.
Right.
And I was very much in a place where my choice for death, right? And I picked life, right? And I could have justifiably very easily chosen to die instead, but I didn't.
Right.
And I think that death was the easier choice, and I think that the reason I made it out, most people don't, is that most people tend to take the path of least resistance.
Right.
Right, and the path of least resistance is 100% understandable, not something I think you should judge someone for, because there's a reason that, right, because life feels like a worse option, right? And it definitely felt like a worse option to me.
Right.
I mean, especially if we all belong to the same thing, because it's like, I believe we all belong to the same soul. And it's like, that means that if somebody makes a mistake or somebody chooses, like you said, like the life of least resistance, it's like on some level, we are like experiencing that, or will experience that, or God experiences that, or whatever. But it's like, we all belong to the same soul. So we had that experience.
And I think that's accurate, right? Like we all experience that moment in our lives in some way, no matter who you are or what you've gone through.
Yeah.
Right, and I think the other reason people die is because they paint this self-image of my life is so much harder and this is so much more difficult, and excuse or that excuse, and people are very, very good at making those, right? And the difference I think between a winner and a loser is that a loser is just going to make the excuse because it's easy, and I get it, right? It makes sense, right? I've done it before, right? And there's no judgment there, but at the same time, when you stop making the excuses and you just start making choices, life stops happening to you, and then you start happening to life instead, right? And I think at that point, that's when you start to succeed in everything that you do, and everything just starts turning to gold.
That's a cool
magic, or because you are better in some way, but it's simply what is on the inside will be on the outside, right? The reason I succeed at things is not because I'm smarter or I'm better looking or anything like that, right? Because 90% of the time it just isn't true. The only difference is I don't quit at anything, right? And I'm willing to, I've been through harder shit than this, right? Like it's been rougher than this. I'll be all right, and eventually you just make it through it.
Yeah.
It's like you've seen Rocky, right? It's like it's not about how hard you can punch someone. You can punch me a bunch more times than I can punch you, right? Because you could punch me over and over again, and I'm not gonna fall because you can go fuck yourself, right? And simply because I spent enough in poverty and bad circumstances that were outside of my control. And I refuse to be that, right? Just because I grew up in a trailer doesn't mean I'm going to die in one. Just because when I was a kid, I had sleep for dinner more often than not. I've never gone hungry, since we met, right? After that, I definitely changed. Because the person I was simply was, like I said, it was inefficient, right? And nature doesn't like that. And I had to fix it, right? It was fix it or die.
Whatever, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you...
That might be why people do feel like killing themselves because they're living inefficiently. They're not living to their purpose.
Well,
and so nature's like, well, here's the other option. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a big faith gone too far is worse than no faith at all, right? Because faith gone too far is when you stop putting the faith in yourself and you start putting it into all these external things, right? Because if you want to approach it, I grew up Catholic, right? As you know, and I typically, if I'm having this kind of conversations, I'm going to reason it out that way. God wants you to do the works because faith in yourself is faith in an extension of that God and is therefore faith in God himself, right?
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Whether you want to say God or Muhammad or who the fuck ever, right? It doesn't matter. And I think just having faith that, God will make a way, right? You're like, hey, it's kind of like dude is on a roof, in the middle of a hurricane. He's like, "Hey, God, help me out." And a boat comes by. He goes, "No, God's gonna get me," right? And then another boat comes by. "Hey, God's gonna get me," and it keeps happening. And he gets to the pearly gates. He's like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck?" And God's like, "Hey, I sent you 7 fucking boats, bro. You didn't get on any of them."
You didn't get
Right? You know? Because that
Right.
dude just sat there waiting for someone else to do it for him, right? And
Right.
that's just not how it works.
Yeah.
Faith is what gives you the strength to do the thing yourself,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
At some point, you just got to get up off of your ass and do something about it,
Yeah.
because nobody's going to do it for you.
Exactly.
That's true. And you are the one, if you see something that needs to be done or that you want to do,
Mhm.
no one else is saying
Gotta
that
do it.
but you. Like the only person who's like gonna particularly be like, that's an issue that should be fixed is the guy who's seeing it generally. Or the
Oh,
gal.
100%.
But the person, yeah.
100%. And then what's crazy is when you start being that person, people become jealous, and then they start saying, "Oh, you think you're better than me? Oh, you brag too much. Oh, you do this. Oh, you do that." I'm like, I actually never brought it up. You just saw my watch and got pissed off, right?
Right.
Like I actually never said anything. Like I was having I had this conversation with a client at my job once. They were like, "Hey, like, well, I'd want to go look at every example of this thing before I did this." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let me ask you a question. If you wanted to buy a Volvo, would you go test drive 6 Hyundais, 2 Toyotas, and a Lamborghini just for the fuck of it, or would you go to Volvo, right?" And they're like,
Right.
"Well, maybe I would." I was like, "Okay, well, that doesn't make sense, and here's X, Y, and Z reasons why that's true." And they're like, "Oh, well, have you ever spent $40,000 without doing a lot of research?" I was like, "I wouldn't say without any research, but yeah." And I was wearing a Daytona, right? I'm fucking wearing it right now. And she got mad. She's like, "You didn't do any research?" Like, I did research on Rolex, but I didn't go to Patek asking them about their watches before I bought a Rolex. That doesn't make
Right.
any fucking sense,
Yeah.
right?
You know they know what they're doing. That's
And
why
then,
you're spending the money.
yeah, and then, well, it's more that, and then she goes, "Well, you don't have to brag." And I'm like, "Well, I wasn't. You asked me a question, and I gave you an answer that you couldn't give me, and you don't like that, right?
Right.
That's your problem,
Right.
not
Yeah.
mine," right? And I think that's very true of people in general. Like, I don't talk to my family for the most part because a lot of them are really toxic. I talk to some of them. But a lot of those people, like, I'll pop up at a family gathering and I won't say a word to anybody. And then they'll go, "Oh, you're just like your fucking mama. You think you're better than all of us." I was like, "No, my mom just be fucking white trash, toxic motherfuckers like the rest of you. Jesus Christ, I'm just a generation after. It takes 2 generations to escape poverty. Here I am, right?"
Right.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about, and that's why they're still stuck there, is because they would rather be part of this group of people where it's an echo chamber telling each other they're right than to go out and face the word no, and to face
Yeah.
rejection, and to face difficulty and hardship. Because if you don't go face those things, you're never going to have anything. And most
Yeah.
people are cowards at the end of the day, right? And that's okay, but to sit here and make that my right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fair, right? Like, the headache of dealing with other people is that most of them, their lives are a mess, but they want to tell other people how to be.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, look, if I want to become like you, which I don't, then I will take your advice. But like I said, I don't. Um, 'Cause
And that's the thing too. And I think that's definitely true for my family, right? Like, they'll come to me and they'll give me life advice, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really not interested," right?
right,
And they're like, "Oh, no, no, no." I'm like, "I just don't want to. I don't take advice from people I don't respect, right? Or people whose lives I wouldn't trade with."
right, yeah, exactly. Someone who you're like,
I was like,
that's
there's a
why
lot
I
of different
come.
kinds of success, and it doesn't have to be money, right? But you don't have any kind of, like, when you don't have any kind of success, when you don't have a successful marriage, and you don't have a happy life, and you wake up and you're pissed off about everything. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how nice your car is. You suck at life, right? And I wouldn't take advice from you either,
Yeah.
right? Those things typically tend to follow each other, and if you have one without the others, they typically tend to fall apart because those things are natural consequences of each other.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hey, I'm going to take a quick break real quick just to call out that you're listening to a Cox and Space behind the scenes podcast. This is Drawing with Jack, where we draw with Jack. If you're interested in finding out more information, you can go to coxinspace.com. That's coxinspace.com. You can get connected with our Facebook and come on the show, just like we have Payton Richardson here with us tonight. You can connect on our Discord, and you can come hang out during the green room and afterwards, after stop taping the show or whatever you call it here, stream the show. And then also you can go over to our Patreon and help support us, keep us active. While we're taking this break, Payton, do you have any like poetry or art that you want to promote? Um, I don't know if you still do that, or
Not at the moment.
do you have any
I
other
do.
socials?
I do,
Okay.
but I'm
Welcome, Logan Gifford, to
I
join the
I've
chat.
been kind of inactive for no shit. What's up, Logan?
Hey, everybody.
Oh, dude. How you
Wait,
been,
before we
bro?
get distracted, Payton, shout out your socials real quick, just so if anyone's interested, we can do it. We can roll right back into it.
I've been kind of
Good timing,
inactive on
Logan.
all that. I am working on getting published at the moment.
Nice.
But I don't have any socials active yet because I'm still going through screenings and everything. So
That is awesome. Okay. Well, when you get some information about that, let us know so we can post that and promote that for you on this podcast.
For sure. Thank you.
What's that published time period look like?
We're looking at somewhere in the next 2 years.
Okay.
I just got it started. Really,
Nice.
It hasn't been in the works for long.
Okay. That is
Okay.
cool. Well, yeah, welcome Logan Gifford. We'll cut out of the shout outs. Y'all know each other. We were just talking about the past, and
Yes. Glad to be here on another episode. Rarely am I featured on Drawing with Jack. Unfortunately,
Right.
I'm tardy a little bit tonight. We had to do some stuff, and we got a marriage license today. Me and my old lady are getting married in a week.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Nuptials.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
sir.
Thank you for announcing it here. Yeah. Everyone, Logan's getting married, you guys. Got the license and everything. So you are actually no longer living in sin. Well, congratulations.
I came late. Thank you again. But I came late, so I kind of want to skip the how you been, how you doings, and what you've been up to. But
No way.
at that point, I'm not sure what else I have to ask you.
Well, Peyton was just
I wanna
sharing
know-
about how he's become successful in more recent years. Because you're
Fuck yeah, that's all.
yeah.
Thank you.
And was sharing like how you can get that because I know that we all sort of came from the same place, right? We were in the midst of a deep depression that had taken over our lives for different reasons. We had lost hope, and so we ended up in a shelter or rehab, And so from there, we've all gone on to be like, look, no, we're not going to do this anymore. We don't want to be like that anymore. And Payton was kind of sharing like his thoughts on how he's done that and what he's been doing and been able to. But we've also been talking about all sorts of things. So,
Right.
you want to rant about
My
politics?
apologies to kind of put a bump in the road as far as the conversation was going.
It's all
I
good.
didn't mean to join late.
It's good of you to be aboard.
Absolutely.
So Peyton, you were in Tennessee, right?
Actually, I just moved to Florida.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I still work in Tennessee sometimes. I kind of bounce around. I've been traveling for my company. I might
Hell
go
yeah.
to Vegas sometime this year. I don't know. Depends on what they need. Depends on how much they're paying too. Because I make decent money in Florida. I make great money in Tennessee. I broke a bunch of records last year though. That was lit. They gave me this. They gave me this.
Nice.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Youngest person to ever win it. Wild.
Hell
Fastest to ever win it too. That was
Nice.
crazy.
And these are what, sales records, Payton? I'm sorry
And
for
I've
asking.
just
but
been
these
kind
are
of
what,
like
sales
riding the
records?
wave.
Yeah, that it is.
Do what?
Sales records, right?
Yeah, these are sales records, or like what kind of records are
Yeah,
they? Like I said,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed the first half, so I'm not exactly
Yeah,
privy to what you do these days.
Oh yeah, so
I think
so
we're
I'm
trying
a
to keep it off.
salesman now.
Yeah, salesman. Specifically,
and,
we're not calling it out.
Yeah, so we'll keep the company off the record just because I don't want
Oh, absolutely,
social
yeah,
media can impact that kind of thing.
yeah.
But, I work in travel, right? And I'm a salesman
Nice.
therein.
I do in-home
And
appliance repair.
like you have metrics you have to hit and stuff like that. But I made the President's Club. Oh, cool. I sell timeshare.
Timeshare. I mean, hell yeah.
So how's the appliance? Yeah, it's fun too. Because if you're a decent person, decent people actually tend to make better money. The
Absolutely,
scammy people,
yeah.
They don't last real long.
Decent
then
people.
they fuck my reputation up. I'm like, thanks, bro. Right?
Decent
you
people.
just fucked me. Thank you. Appreciate you.
But decent people tend to be likable, and and in sales, and then too, of course, like what I do too. Like when I'm in someone else's house, I have to try my best to be as cordial as possible.
Right.
Which so it's just a handful on the soul.
It's more
sometimes.
being genuine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Right?
It's way better to be honest with someone than to try and put on a front and be like, hi everyone.
Yeah, 100%. Because that doesn't work. Because it feels forced, right?
Right.
I walk into one of those conversations like, "What's up, bro? How you been? Right, I've been waiting on you. Thanks for showing up." Right? Like, here's what you need to do. Here's why I need to do that. No, that doesn't make sense. Here's why. Get to let me make you like me, right? Like, if you walk into a situation like, well, I know you're gonna like me, right? Because I like me, right? And I got good taste, so
right, yeah.
It typically tends to work. Yeah, 100%. And I think whenever you try to help someone, they typically tend to spend a lot. That dude spent $60,000 with me once just because I never lied to him. And he had so many people that did lie to him before that, and it was like I was like, I appreciate that. I just made a ton of money, but that's sad. Really, that sucked.
Right. Yeah. All it took was just to be honest.
I was actually working on this young lady's refrigerator earlier. And she said, "Yeah, the first technician that they came out, opened my freezer, said, 'Wow, that's a lot of ice.' FaceTimed someone and said, 'Wow, I've never seen anything like this,' and then left." And I looked at her and I said,
"Wow."
I looked at her and I said, "I wish the job was that easy, ma'am."
Yeah.
And then I spent like 30 minutes there, replacing a bunch of parts and doing a bunch of stuff that the other tech didn't do.
That's vile behavior.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
imagine getting paid to do a job and just showing up and talking shit instead.
Exactly. Some people have so little work ethic, and it's honestly really crazy to me. And I mean, it might just be like a product of how I was raised, but like, dude, if you're getting paid to do something, you do it the best that you can, every time.
Right. I mean, that's fair, but they also make the same amount of money that you do, so.
Right.
So.
Which again is a shame because like some of these guys who go in there and do half-ass work, like you said, get paid the same amount as me, and it's sad.
That's just.
I mean, I do think that's why I like my job because if I do work harder, I get paid more, which is nice.
Sense. That should be a model everywhere.
And then all the people that don't work hard, don't make dick, and then just talk shit in the smoke pit. They spend their whole day smoking cigarettes, talking about, "Oh, this job sucks." I'm like, have you tried taking an appointment?
Yeah,
have you tried doing your fucking job? Right? Like,
if you think it sucks so much,
get paid for your results, you lazy fuck. If you're not making money, it's your fault.
Right.
Yeah, like they have to pay you minimum wage, but it's like if you're just gonna sit there to just get paid minimum wage and smoke cigarettes, bitch, go and make a sale. Make something of yourself, baby. Go
and that's the thing, right? I think that's what separates that's why most people talk about like, oh, I wish I was in charge, but if you gave them the reins, they'd burn the fucking thing to the ground.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. A lot of people like to know that they know a lot about everything, or they like to think that they know everything about everything there is. I had a guy one time who was like, "Yeah,
100%.
Did you know that the average person starts 3 businesses before they succeed?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know that." And he was like, "Yeah, but thankfully I just inherited my dad's business." And I'm like, "So what the fuck are you telling me this for, you dickhead?" You're trying to give me, you're trying to give me sauce.
But you never had to work for anything. I don't give a fuck.
You have the recipe.
Yeah, exactly. We were just talking about that. Like,
literally.
You can't take advice from just anybody.
Like,
you have to know what they're about.
That's crazy.
No.
Well, what sucks about that for that guy? Because I worked with this dude, and he's like the most successful salesperson in my industry ever, right? And he's got a bunch of books out, and he wins awards every year.
Nice.
And his kid goes, "Hey, Dad," right? my classmate got a Camaro for his birthday. Can I have a Camaro? And he goes, well, son, I feel very bad for your classmate because you're working for your car. Right. Now, keep in mind, this dude makes $1 million a year. Right. He's like, you're going to work for your car. Right.
Yeah, you
And his
instill a
son
work
goes, well,
ethic
why
in
is
these
that? And he goes,
kids.
well, because if you don't have to work for it, you're not going to appreciate it.
Right.
Right. And he's like, you'll get money when I die if you earn it. Right. If you earn it. But if you don't earn it, I'm going to give it to your sister because I can't trust you. Right. Because I worked this hard to build this for you, and if you don't learn the things you need to know by going out and hitting your head and scraping your knees, then I did it for nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
No, right, not for him.
And
I think that's true.
Yeah.
And that goes further, you know, to say like teach a work ethic to these kids, man. And
yeah, 100%. Like,
and I don't want to sound like a boomer saying, "Oh, these kids don't want to work these days." No, it's not that. It's that I feel like a lot of kids, and I mean, you know, I still might sound boomerish in saying it, but a lot of these modern kids don't have the same amount of work ethic because they were born into a world where it's impossible for them to succeed.
You're right.
Exactly. Yeah, and they become disenfranchised, right? Like, I think
all
of us definitely went through that.
By this whole system of like, yeah, get a job, work until you die, and they're like, no, fuck that, you know?
Yeah. And there's jobs in this system where you can avoid that entirely, right? Like, that's what I'm doing. Right? You could do that, but I think that, you know, that's both good and bad because boomers didn't work any harder than we did. They just stayed at the same place for longer. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not even that. I mean, but the dollar.
They sat around their offices doing jack shit, and you can tell when you go talk to them at work right now, right? Because a lot of them don't know dick because they think they know everything. It was a lot more productive to assume that you're stupid, right? Like, I try to assume I'm stupid every day, right?
Yeah, I'll always assume that you can learn more. I didn't mean to cut you off.
1,000%.
That's an axiom that I live by. You know, like, I always assume that there is more to learn. Even if you feel like you know everything about a particular subject, there's always something else you could know. You could always.
Well, I think it's one of those things. It's like the mountain analogy, right? Like when you think you see everything, right? And you think you're so smart, you think you're so good, and then when you get to the top, you understand how insignificant you actually are.
That actually reminds me of like the spotlight of knowledge paradox, and we may have talked about this before, you know, but it might have been 6 years ago.
Could be.
But
sure.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
The way it was explained to me was like, imagine yourself on a stage, and the spotlight that surrounds you is the knowledge that you have. The bigger the spotlight of your knowledge gets, the bigger you understand like the darkness of the side stage that you're on, where it's like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know, essentially.
Yeah.
And you realize you're probably just an ant on the stage, and this spotlight.
I think that applies to really everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, which is why I said, like, you can never stop learning. You can always better yourself.
That is absolutely true. So Payton, you don't necessarily have to give advice to like how to get into the business that you're in, but like what are like daily practices? What are thought patterns? What are habits that people who want to be successful should be doing?
Do you have affirmations?
I mean, not really, right? Like, I think a lot of it comes down to liking yourself. I think that's big.
So how have you done that?
And you know, when you like yourself, you tend to have more. Well, by proving to myself that I'm worth a fuck. You know, like by succeeding in the first place. And that comes later, honestly, right? Like the best way to start is, you know, after you bounce off a rock bottom a couple of times, right?
Absolutely.
You know, like I bounced after I got out of where we were, right? You know, a few times, right? I definitely made some not great decisions because I was young and stupid, right? And
that's how you learn.
Eventually, you know, I realized that I can do things and that I am worth something and that I can do anything I put my mind to, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it is. If I just work hard enough, it'll happen, right? And I think the thing that separates the person that's going to be successful, whether that's, you know, financially, emotionally, in your family life or whatever, is someone that can handle a lot of rejection, right? Because if you can't handle people telling you no until they eventually tell you yes, you'll never have anything,
Right.
Right? It's like the guy
Right.
that, you want the 6-figure job, you got to show up at their door every day for 6 months straight, and they got to tell you to go fuck yourself 10 times a day, right?
Right.
And you have to go
Persistent.
through that, be okay with it, and keep moving forward, right?
Persistent.
At the end of the
Yeah.
day, yeah, persistence. Like it's just like the same reason humans are successful. The most persistent person eventually gets the deer, right? And I'm getting fat, and it's just because I'll keep on walking after you, right? It's one of those things like if I it's one of those things like the guy I was talking about. I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm the only person that shows up to work at the same time he does, right? Because he gets there at 6, we don't have to be there till 8:30, right? But we get there and we game plan our day and we get things set up. And I'll look through the accounts of the people I'm going to be talking to, and I'll make notes, and I go in more prepared than any of my competition is.
Hands down.
And that's very important, right? Preparedness is everything, right? Like if and it doesn't matter if you're a salesperson or if you're building a house, like if I have better blueprints, I'm going to build a better house, right?
Right. And then also too, if you're the most confident person in the room, odds are you're going to perform better. So,
and I honestly, I don't think that's true. I think the hardest worker in the room performs the best. Because there was definitely a time where I was not confident at all. Like I went in there shaking like a leaf. And I stayed that way for 6 months. Like I almost lost my house 3 times.
damn.
And it was one of those things. Like it was work, nothing. Work, nothing. Work. Here's $250,000. Bang. Right. We're there.
Right.
Right. And it clicks and it clicks and it clicks and it clicks and nothing happens and eventually it clacks. Right.
Right.
And you just have to make it through all the nothing, right? You have to be okay with starving. You have to be okay with pain. You have to be okay with rejection. You have to be okay with, like, it's one of those things, like, if I were to paint it like an athlete, right? It's like my competition shows up and I'm already at the gym, and they leave and I stay for another hour, where I was going to leave an hour before. Like I was going to leave right after they did get there, but I stayed just to prove to you that I will work harder than you will every single time, right? Without fail, right? And you will never beat me because you can't outwork me, right? I will sleep less, I'll eat less, I'll study more, and I'll work harder, right? Because at the end of the day, it just goes to whoever wants it more, right? And you don't want it more than me, I promise, right? Because it comes down to if at the end of the day, one of us is going to go hungry, right? And my family needs to eat, right? You know what I mean? And it just comes down to who's the better predator at the end of the day, because that's what humans are, right? That's why we have binocular eyesight, right?
God, I can tell you work in sales.
Dude, I'll walk longer, right? You'll drop and I'll keep going, right? And then I'll drop right after, but I won't drop first.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I might have gone that half-inch farther than you, but that half-inch is going to push me a mile further.
Correct, because I'll go a half-inch further than you every single time.
Right.
You're right, and after I've done it enough times, I'm so far ahead of you, it's not even funny.
Right. You just
That's a super sick way to think about your progression, too, is like, I only just have to get this much further every day. But if I get this much further than everyone else, then I'm still ahead of them.
Yeah, it's like skateboarding. It's a cool
way to think about it.
It's like skateboarding, right? Like, I'll break more collarbones than you, but I'll stick better kickflips too, right?
Yeah.
That idea is the essence of my nickname, because I got my nickname when I was playing Ultimate Frisbee in college. They called me the skipper because I'd be running like pace with somebody else, and then I would skip once, which gave me an extra leg length, which means we could still be running the same speed, but I was one up ahead of them, which means I could get to the Frisbee faster.
Yeah, that little bit makes a difference.
And that was it. But like I will do that one where I just need a little bit of an advantage, and I'll take it.
Well, there's a Japanese idea about that too, and I cannot remember what it's called, but it's the idea is tomorrow I will be 1% better than I was today, like I was 1% better today than I was yesterday.
Facts.
In 100 days, I'm 100% better.
100%.
Yes. In 200 days, I'm 400% better, right?
Because it just keeps compounding.
100%.
It's logarithmic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, when I first moved to Chicago, I was writing sticky notes on the back of my door to, kind of like remind myself of like what to do and like where to go. And one of them was that the only competition I had was myself, because I was the only thing that was going to stop me. Like I wasn't like in competition with the people around me because they're doing their own thing and they're after different types of food. But the only person who's going
Right.
to stop me from getting where I'm going is myself. So yeah, I don't. I may have run into that Japanese idea, but it's the same idea. Yeah, just 1% better
Well, yeah,
tomorrow.
I think that's true, right? Like
Yeah,
100% of the time, the biggest thing in your way is you,
Absolutely, yeah.
right?
And
And
I
if
mean,
if you
and I
hate
even run
yourself,
into
your
that in
results
my
are going
job.
to suffer.
I even run into that in my job sometimes, where it's like, like, oh, this guy's got a simple problem, but I decide to cut a corner and not check something else, and then the next thing I know, I'm back at that person's house for something
right.
different.
And that catches
So
up
it's
with
like,
you. That'll catch
right.
up with you.
So I have to be as thorough as I can when I'm
Well, that's why
in
you'll
these
make
people's
manager
houses.
first, and then you'll make general manager first, and you'll probably be a lot more successful than the dickhead that's cutting the corners.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly. Because that's not what makes leadership. Leadership is showing up, um, working to support yourself or the rest of your team and the rest of your team, as efficiently as possible for everybody. Um, yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
feel like good leadership is showing up and setting the example, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
you have to. Yeah, you have to be the one
that's
who's
why, like,
working.
but at the same time, leadership, I feel like can be a demotion in a lot of ways. You end up working for all these people.
Yeah.
And like
Right,
my
because
job, they promoted me, and I was like, fuck this, I'm not fucking doing it. And they're like, what? Like I could build a team. I could build a team. I could manage a team. I could run a team. I did it, making food for a long time. I've done it in construction. I've done it before,
Right.
right? But at this point, I just don't have time for stupid bullshit that's getting in my way and affecting the amount of money I make,
Right.
right? Because I want to retire when I'm 40, and you're fucking this up, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, right?
yeah, like if you fuck with
And
my
I
money, I'm coming for you.
yeah, and I find I've honestly become a bit more tender-hearted, but a bit more callous at the same time, right? And I also, as leader, had a hard time with a nice delivery, because I found that people that are around 30 years old, you can just tell them the truth, right? And they're fine. But people that are like 20, 25, they cry a lot, and I just can't take it, right? Like, because I had this girl that, like, she fucked this tour up so bad, she fucked the table up so bad, and I pulled her away, at the end of everything. I was like, hey, look, like, you just reached into my pocket, took my wallet out, and set it on fire. You just took food out of my family's mouth, and that's not fucking cool, and I wouldn't have done that to you. And I don't know why you're comfortable doing it to me, right? So you need to fix X, Y, and Z, or you don't ever need to call for me again, right? Those are your choices, because I'm the best fucking manager on this track, and you're about to fuck that relationship up.
Jeez.
And she starts crying, and I'm like, all I told you was 100% of the truth and no filter, right?
Right,
Because
right.
I don't
yeah,
hate
like
you, I'm not mad at you. I never raised my voice at her. I didn't curse at her. None of that. But I just, I've gotten to a point where I just keep it raw, right? 100%
Right.
of the time, right? And it works for me, right? Maybe that doesn't work for everybody, but that's fine, but it works for me, right? And I would rather, like, me personally, I would rather you tell me I'm a worthless piece of shit and mean it than
Right.
tell me you love me and don't mean it.
Right.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
I would rather you be 100%
You know what I
honest
mean?
with me and say, hey, you need some work, rather than be like, hey,
Yeah.
you're doing a great job, everything's cool all
Yeah.
around, and then you fire me
Yeah,
2
because
weeks
I'm not
later.
everybody's taste. I'm not everybody's taste, but the people that do like me love me, right? And I
Absolutely.
find
I could attest to
I'd
that.
rather have, yeah, that, like, I'd rather have, like, less good friends than a bunch of shitty ones.
That's totally
Right.
true. Well,
Absolutely.
you want friends that that when they talk to you, they're telling you the truth, and that they know that you're telling them.
Yeah,
Because that's the basis of
yeah,
an
because,
actual
like,
friendship.
that's something I didn't discover until I started succeeding, is that, a lot of these people are not who you think they are, right? And you don't
Yeah.
realize that until they have something to gain by fucking you.
Right.
Damn.
And then their true colors start to show really fast, right? And then your bank account gets drained really quickly. And then suddenly, when you were supporting everybody and you can't support everybody anymore, they all disappear. It's not a fun
Yeah.
feeling.
Right. Yeah.
But it
Exactly.
teaches you something, I think.
Right.
Because I went through that in the last 6 months.
Yeah,
right?
that big house,
Like with
right?
my family, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah, like, and it was one of those things, like I wanted my family to love me, and they never did. And then I got successful, and everybody likes me, and I fell for it, right?
Right.
And it cost me 150 grand, right? But I learned something from it, and I think the lesson was worth it.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah, the lesson was worth it though. I'll make it. I've made it back already, but it's one of those things. Like I really realize who's real and who's not.
Right.
And the people that I want around, I can count on one hand, and I'll never make that mistake ever again.
Keep your circle small, and you'll never be disappointed.
Well, you might still be disappointed because people are people.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't mean to offend any of my friends who are in this chat right now. But like because I know that I'm also going to do that to you. Like I will let you down because I'm not good at being a person.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'll be honest about that too. Like I will fuck up, right? Like I'm gonna fuck up. It's gonna happen.
But
the difference is my fuck up will be when I was trying to do well and I just did it wrong.
Yeah.
Right. It'll never be because I had some motive I didn't tell you about.
Right. Yeah, and then you'll find out like there's I totally went about something the wrong way, but I'm ready to fix it right now so that 100%. It's no longer a problem. So yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, people are gonna let you down.
Well, I think,
but there's a lot of ingenuine people who are like, yeah, it's broken.
Between someone with successful relationships and someone who doesn't have them, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, I fucked it up, but like I'm here, I own that. Here's how I fucked up. Here's how I'm gonna fix it, right? That person is gonna have real friends for their whole lives, and the person that's not willing to take that accountability and make those changes just won't.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say, Payton, too.
That's actually what I was going to say too, is that accountability goes a long way in the forms of like what makes a person a good person.
Absolutely.
I feel like, yeah, like I feel like if you have enough humility to hold yourself accountable for a fuck up, rather than saying like, oh, the customer was unreasonable or, some shit, you could just straight up say, like, hey, I fucked up and here's why and here's how I'm going to fix it.
Well, 100%, right? And that's, I think that's true. That's why I broke all those records, because like I would get off this table that I fucked up and my boss would say, do you want to tell me about that? And I'll be like, yeah, I fucked up X, Y, and Z. I did this in a way I probably shouldn't have. I didn't word this the right way. Here's what I need to fix. I already know that. What do you see that I can fix? And then that built me a relationship with a successful manager, with the director at the time who became the vice president. And that came in handy because now, I've got the vice president of the company on fucking speed dial, right? And I'm just a rep, and that helps, right? And it goes a long way. And I think that happens with everything. Right, and I think that's why I can kind of do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, because they trust me, right? And I think that it goes in my personal life too, right? Like I don't ever have to explain where I'm at to my girlfriend because she knows she can trust me.
Right.
Right, because she knows I'm not going to do anything stupid.
Girlfriend, huh, bro?
Yeah.
How long have you been dating?
Yeah. Just shy of 6 months.
Nice.
And where'd y'all meet?
Do what?
Where'd y'all meet?
Work, actually.
Really? Oh, shit, okay.
That's actually why I moved to Florida, because she lives here.
Nice.
Because they sent me to River Ranch to help fix the numbers, and I met her there. And it was wild, because I got stood up by someone else. And we were just friends, right? And I came over here and I was complaining about it. We ended up drinking, and then things happened, and here we are.
Nice.
I mean, hell yeah.
Here you are. Natural.
Yeah, it just kind of worked. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice because we're like best friends, right? Like.
See, and that's one of the things that I'll say too is that, dude, on October 4th, I get to marry my best friend, and I'm excited.
Awesome. That's something most people will never have, and I love that for you. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, dude, she's awesome. I love this woman. So, I mean, I guess, Payton, to catch you up. So we met in 2020, the year I got out the mission, or out of where we were, excuse me, might have to bleep that. But you know, out of the facility,
when we escape
Away
the
from the
facility.
circle of hell,
Yeah,
masquerading as the gates of heaven.
you know, I just immediately started like putting myself out there, right? Because I was like, you know, I just want to meet somebody. I want to meet new people. I want to have fun. And ended up meeting this girl on Facebook dating of all places.
That's wild.
Uh,
It's funny how it happens when neither of you have intentions. Like,
Right.
because, you know, she was sworn off of dating. She's like, you know, I'm not fucking doing this shit anymore. I'm done.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just horny. I'm going to go get laid. I'm done with this fucking bullshit. I'm not doing it no more.
Right.
And then
But
now
honestly,
it's like,
that was how it was for me. Like, I got a
Yeah.
position on. I'm so fucking horny.
yeah, and then you're just
I was,
like,
I was just trying to meet
this
people.
person
and then
you
all
had
of a
no
sudden, I
intentions
ended up-
with, like,
ended up,
I want to live
you
in
know,
your skin,
accidentally
right?
matching up with the love of my life. You know, so it's
Yeah,
it's
that's
crazy how it
awesome, man.
works.
Yeah, well, I think that's a really good point in general in life. You know, I think a lot of the time when the good things happen, the success happens when you're not looking for it.
Right.
Right?
Well,
like
that's
it's what. Yeah, like if you're looking for a girlfriend, you'll always find a toxic relationship, and if you're looking to make money, you'll always end up broke. Right? But if you're looking to just do something cool and have fun doing it and be the best at this thing, you
Right.
just naturally happen to succeed.
That is a fair point. As far as like switching up the objective,
Yeah.
because fact,
Yeah, because if you think about it too hard, you're gonna fuck it up.
right, exactly.
That's what happens.
The gymnast doesn't do flips by thinking about the flip. The gymnast trains repeatedly to do the flips so they no longer have to think about them as they do them. That's
Yeah,
how
they didn't get
can
the gold
execute
medal
it.
because they were trying to get a gold medal. They got a
Right.
gold medal because they wanted to be the best fucking gymnast.
Right, yeah,
Right.
That kind of reminds me of a Bruce Lee quote where he says, I fear not the
Feel like
man who has
water?
practiced one punch 1,000 times, but rather has practiced 1,000 punches. It's something like that, where it's like, I fear not the man who has
The
practiced
quote is,
1,000 punches one time, but the man who has practiced one punch 1,000 times.
1,000 times, yeah.
Something like that.
Because they can execute that one very well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen Demon Slayer?
No.
I have not.
So there's this character, and they have these breathing styles where everybody has all these different forms. And this guy's just got one form, but he's so fucking cold at this one form that he's like a stone cold killer, right? He's like,
That's
I'm
awesome.
fast as a bitch, and that's all I got. But I'm so fast. that
Cold
it's funny.
mention.
Right. It's like, oh, everybody else fell into the castle. Zenitsu arrived at the castle, right? You know. But hey, I'm gonna be right back. Give me 5 minutes. I
Sweet.
need to make get something to drink. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, that is Payton Richardson, who has joined us here on Drawing with Jack. Logan, I'm glad you popped by because I knew you guys would like the show.
Yeah,
Jack,
I remember you told me that. I remember you told me that he was coming on last night, but also too, I missed my buddy Jack. Jack, how you doing, bro? What's been going on?
Great.
How have you been, man?
I'm just doing my little Rocket League streams and working. Like, we got all caught up at work now, so I'm not like stressing out there anymore. I feel pretty, all right, all things considered. And I gotta
Haven't had
say,
any more issues with your kicker, huh, bro? With your heart? Everything's been going good?
Well, yeah, I haven't passed out. I didn't have any issues with my heart. I mean, I was afraid that maybe I did, but everything checked out with my heart.
Okay.
So,
what did that end up being? I don't mean to pry, but like, what did that end up being? Did you find out, like, did you get a diagnosis for that?
No, I'm seeing a neurologist right now, so I'm gonna get an MRI done here at some point, and I'll figure out what is going on with that. But because of the second time that I passed out, I'm trying to take care of an ambulance ride right now that was very expensive.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
So, I never wanted to take one. Like, the first time that I passed out, I refused the ambulance ride.
Right.
But like, my medical bills right now from getting my heart checked out are something that I want to take care of. I mean, I don't make a whole lot of money, guys. I'm just gonna, rip that Band-Aid off. I don't.
That's where most of us are at, yeah.
So, I really have to be careful with how I'm like getting these things taken care of. So we're taking care of the figuring out what happened to me slowly, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. Like I pretty much stabilized my diet. I think it was just like something to do with my diet and how I
Be careful with high salt, man. That shit'll increase your blood pressure. You might have had mini strokes or something, dude. And I'm not a doctor. I'm just but be careful.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what it was. High blood pressure obviously does run in my family. I mean, most Black Americans just have higher blood pressure, most minorities, but I don't know. Like I was on a keto diet. I've kind of gotten off that now, and I'm like, just trying to be more even keeled. But yeah, I've been feeling pretty good physically.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, sorry I'm saying a lot. That's when I'm
Combination
thinking
of things
or
where
doing
you're
something.
drawing and
Just my lizard brain is like,
we were doing a review of the substance, which is this is actually a podcast now where we're doing.
Oh,
a review
actually,
of
yeah.
Oh, you saw it! You saw it!
Thank you for that, Jack.
And we
That
did
was
a
a
review.
great
Yeah, it was
fucking
it was so fantastic. It was so good. We reviewed it 3 times, for 2.5 hours apiece.
Dude, so what did you think? I want to hear. Dude, you gotta tell me what you thought.
Well,
Welcome back to another Constant Space podcast.
No, we're in it again, but we reviewed the substance.
You don't have to review it again. You can just give me synopsis.
No, it's a fantastic film. It's still amazing, beautiful cinematography. Yeah, the opening shot, the closing
really
shot,
funny.
the Cronenberg horror all the way through. Yeah.
Dude, the final form.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was crazy.
Act 3 is amazing.
Dude.
We definitely go into it in detail on that show. But we had to give a shout out to you too, because God, dude, Logan had never heard of it. I hadn't heard of it before you told me. So we went and we watched it, and seriously, 6 hours between the two of us reviewing that film.
Yeah, dude,
so
I
good.
loved it. Dude, I thought Demi Moore is such a fucking badass just for doing that.
She is amazing.
Movie.
Well, and she was having so much fun too. You can see she's just enjoying the fuck out of that role. It's a comedy, and she knows it. You know what I mean?
Dude, so good, so fucking. She was so fucking powerful in that movie too. And I think they did put makeup on her to even look older. I mean, obviously at certain points, but like,
right.
She's like such a beautiful woman, and she's like doing this role that just like is highlighting her age and her imperfections and stuff. And she's just like,
what a badass.
She's having such a fun
so
time with
fucking
it.
badass.
Yeah. So anyone who says that women cannot be funny have to watch The Substance, because I mean seriously, the two of them, just like Margaret Qualley too, like her like doing the bit like passing out on the face of Demi Moore, just like boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the funniest physical comedy. Like
dude, and she was wearing prosthetics, so like her breasts in that are not her real breasts. And
those nipples were real pointy. And I was like,
real
God damn.
Small too. But like, yeah, they like put prosthetics on her to make her even more.
What did I just walk back into?
We're talking about The Substance. Have you seen the movie The Substance?
You have not?
The Substance?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Worthwhile.
I struggle to find time between work and Wizard 101.
That is.
Well, we might spoil the movie for you here, because we've all seen it, and it's like it is like primo horror. It's
whatever
great.
your
I love horror movies. I'll watch it.
Well, so it's an excellent horror movie, but it's also a fantastic film. I'd say that it steps outside the league of horror.
Cinema.
Will you text me the name of the movie, and I'll watch it?
Yeah, for sure. And again, we've done a review of it, and you can agree or disagree with us of that. But you said between work and what now?
We doing face cam?
Wizard 101.
You say Wizard 101?
So I only play one video game at a time.
There you go.
And it's been
What's
Wizard
up,
101 lately, because I got back into it after forever long hiatus.
What is this game?
I have not heard of this game.
So Wizard 101 was...
You guys were clearly not born in the
was
90s.
this MMO that came out in 2008. Right?
That explains why. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's like a strategy card game where the cards are your spells. And it's a massive RPG.
Okay.
So
And I
wait.
spend entirely too much money on it. Like this game is $10 a month, but I spend probably $200 a month on it.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, the games we love.
And
Yeah,
then
I mean,
I
most.
walk away from the Crown's purchase screen just feeling like a dirty slut, and I'm like, I just let that guy spit in my mouth. Right?
I've done that before.
I'm like, fuck. But this is
They-
a badass dragon. Look how cool it is when I'm riding it, right?
Yeah, they've turned most games into an expense these days, like a part-time job because of wanting to
Man.
get
The state of modern
Purchases like
gaming.
that.
100%. Well, because I play like semi-competitively.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do
Really?
it too.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna go grind this dungeon 400 times. I'll be back in a month.
But no, like the state of modern gaming, as far as like how streaming has affected games, like games that used to be casual, like Call
It's
of
like if
Duty
World of
and things
Warcraft
like that.
costed twice as much.
It's so crazy that streamers have affected casual gaming. Personally, casual gaming is dead. You can't just as a casual player get
That's
onto
wild.
any online lobby without getting absolutely murked by somebody. And it's insane. Because it's like, dude, I'm just trying to blow off some stress before work, play some Call of Duty or some Battlefield, and I get, crunched by some dude who's trying to hit clips. I get quick scoped or something. And
That's why I keep it to single player games for the most part these days.
Same.
I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky.
Like I just started
That game is great.
It's
that's a
fucking
good
awesome.
one. I
love
got
No Man's
too
Sky.
addicted to it and I just kind of stepped away from it.
That's
It's a great game though.
I played in
I just
VR,
started
and it is
playing
amazing
Tainted
in VR.
Grail.
No Man's Sky in VR?
Yeah, like I have it in the PS.
I didn't even know you
dude,
could do it in
Yeah.
VR.
Yeah, they have it for PSVR 2, for the PS5, and dude, I mean, it's like having your little personal space sci-fi fantasy. Like I can get into my ship, it looks all real. I can look around. I'm like fucking
Whoa.
flying upside down up to like
It's-
planets and shit. Yeah,
It's
fucking
cool,
great.
dude. It's awesome. What a great game.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does sound hella fun.
Yeah, it actually got me through the pandemic, I would say, because I got furloughed during the pandemic and I got pretty depressed. And
Sure.
being able to like get into VR and like I would get into like No Man's Sky in VR and I would smoke a bowl and I would like go down to like a water planet and I would like get into the little submarine and I would just like put the submarine at the slowest speed and I would just be like cruising through a little cartoony No Man's Sky bay and it was just like I'm on vacation,
Right,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
Right, like, that's like the best part of No Man's Sky is that the universe that they generate is, I think, procedurally infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
It
like
is.
there's no limit to how much exploring you can do, and how many things you
Well, that's
can.
why, like,
collect
if you
and
play it
stuff.
on PC and you want to go anywhere and you want it to take less than an hour to load, you better have 32 gigs of RAM and a decent processor. Like,
It's true.
minimum.
It's true.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Go
Well,
run that
and
game on a hard drive and come back to me in a week. Your first world will have loaded.
Yeah, you definitely need an SSD for sure.
Well, no,
Absolutely.
my girlfriend is running. Or my fiance now, I guess I should say. Excuse me.
You're soon to
About to
be
get married.
wife,
Oh,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
No,
Like, I have to
actually,
quit
you
saying
have
girlfriend.
your marriage license. You are married.
Yeah, yeah.
So she literally
Honestly,
is your
yeah,
wife
at this
now.
point.
We've crossed the boundary,
she's my
guys.
wife.
I mean, we've gone over the horizon.
That's
Officially
fantastic.
now,
Logan
according
looks
to the
sick with
state-
mutton chops.
No, dog, you got to do the Wolverine, like the reverse mohawk on your face.
I've been working on this shape for a while too, guys, and trying to make my chin look a little bit more, out there and nice. I've been working on this shape for a minute, but it also looks like shit because I don't keep up with my lines. So all my
I feel you. I don't keep up with mine either.
Nah.
So
Like, I just wake up, I wet it, and I hit it with a brush, and I'm like, we're going to have a great day.
Nah, you gotta grease it up, right? Oil. Get you some, no, I promise, dude. Get you some oil or get you some beard balm, dude, and start moisturizing your skin underneath, dude. And sometimes you do have to trim just to get the moisturizer to your skin, but dude, I promise. Like
Honestly, I use
take care of the skin
Head and
underneath
Shoulders.
the beard, and the beard will come.
Dude, I use Head and Shoulders, and it works like a charm. Because I used to have the dandruff problem, where I would get like scaly
Oh,
skin.
flakes in the beard?
Yeah, like on my chin. And I started using the eucalyptus Head and Shoulders, and it cleared up, and my beard started growing faster.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
It's essentially the same. You got to go.
Noted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we might be doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's just in different places. Yeah, but no,
oh my god, that's the most fucking punk rock choice of all time. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Gutter Punk.
You already know.
Shout out.
The only union-made beer in the United States, I believe.
Yeah, they call the with the wrong kind of leather jacket on. Who told you were allowed? Get the fuck out of my bar.
Right? I fucking love PBR too. It's a good beer. Hell.
Hey guys, we are reaching the last 15 minutes of the show. So we're gonna try to
already?
Wrapping this up. Can you believe this? This is what I was saying to Payton. I was like, man, once we start rolling, we start.
Yeah, this didn't really fly.
So even though we're in the last 15 minutes, I do want to get into something a little more serious with Payton, because since I've discovered that you play video games, in video gaming, there's been a bit of a real consideration given to something called crunch. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Payton?
No, I'm not.
Sounds like a no.
So, crunch is basically.
I'm completely unfamiliar with that.
It is it's like a time in development when maybe things have taken too long, or maybe a timetable has moved because of the release of some other game, or just something has changed, and now, or it's just been mandated by the management that now shifts have to double, people have to stay late and get things done. All these things have to happen.
Oh,
and
I know what that is.
Yeah, people essentially can't, they're not allowed, they have no choice if they want to keep their job to work 60, 80-hour weeks and put in all of this work to get this get these games that we all love to do done. And it kind of seems similar to me to the thing that you were talking about earlier, your perspective on how you essentially are able to set yourself apart in getting
I didn't know that was a thing, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it seems to be in line with what...
But it makes sense with the lower quality standards that we've seen in video games lately, right? How everything just feels very slapped together and held together with duct tape and prayers, right? Video games used to be this very...
Oh no.
We're in control of, right? And it was awesome. And I have noticed that I just find myself getting bored fast. And I really like old games because it's I like video game as video games. Right?
Yeah.
I like something that feels like a good video game.
I
don't want because
for the Xbox.
Yeah, literally, right?
Like a game that gives you a challenge. I don't want to be walked through my video game. I want to understand that it's a skill issue and I need to get better. And a lot of games don't do that anymore.
With this 80-hour work week that you're talking about, it makes sense because you can tell they're just recycling the same idea over and over and over again.
Right.
Assassin's Creed became Fast and Furious, where it was cool the first 5 times, right? You know what I mean?
But
and I'm just kind of sort of over it.
Right.
I still personally believe, as far as Assassin's Creed goes, 2, 3, and Revelations, the Ezio series, was one of the best stories ever written in modern gaming.
I could agree with that.
I'm not saying it's the
best. I would say
it's
Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3, and Black Flag are definitely those for me with that franchise.
Oh my god,
Black Flag.
And I loved Black Flag. I loved Black Flag not because of the story, but because of the gameplay loop.
Yeah, I couldn't give 2 shits. Right, I just want to ride around as a
pirate.
The story,
100%, I could give 2 shits about, right?
Right.
But
I didn't like how
you got
Black
to be a
Flag
pirate.
They're remaking Black Flag, by the way.
I didn't like how Black Flag forced you to do things outside of the animus. and it was always like you couldn't run.
Right,
you
like
just,
video games should definitely be a thing of passion, not a thing made for profit.
Go to this computer, solve the puzzle, and then go back to the Animus. I'm like, dude, fuck you. Why do I even need this? Why is this part of the game? Just let me stay as the pirate guy.
I feel like a lot of video games suffer from like the Skyrim problem. Right, where Skyrim could have been, like, don't get me wrong, I got lost in Skyrim, I loved Skyrim, it was a great game.
So much fun too.
But at the same time, it was very lacking in all the things that made the Elder Scrolls cool. It was lacking in all the things that made it interesting and all the things that made it fun. The same way that, like, Fallout 4 will never compare to Fallout 3 and Fallout
Okay, yeah, fair.
Vegas. Right, and the same way that Fallout 3 will never compare to the first Fallout game. Right, because the first Fallout game was dark and gritty, and it had a purpose, it had a point, it had a drive, it had a driving motivation to create it.
Right.
Where a lot of these new games are like, hey, what if we like prop more loot boxes for no fucking reason in a game where it doesn't make sense, right?
Right. See, and that's actually what took me out of the Call of Duty franchise. So I was a pretty serious Call of Duty player.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of over it. Like at this point, I could think of like 4 or 5 modern games that I actually like.
Right. But like I said, I was a pretty serious Call of Duty player throughout like the early 2010s, 2009, 2010, 2011. I was playing a lot of COD. So when World War II came out, it was kind of refreshing because it's like it went from Black Ops, whatever the fuck, I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever Black Ops they were on at the time. Because it seems like they don't try with fucking Black Ops anymore. But anyway, so Infinity Ward, or Activision, I guess at the time, decided to do World War II and bring everything way back. So no jetpacks, no wall running, no slides, no goofy shit like that. And I was like, yes, this is root gameplay that I can get behind. This is Call of Duty at its finest, right? But then they started adding loot crates. And motherfuckers started wearing costumes. They were dressed like the Grim Reaper and shit.
Right.
And it just
it became Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah, it stopped making sense. Where it's like, okay, you're dressed as Ghostface, but we're in fucking Germany in 1942 right now. Like, what the fuck kind of sense does this make? It doesn't.
Well, they fucked up.
That was what brought me out of the series entirely, was the fact that like they brought like cosmetic packs and shit like that to World War II, and that was when I realized I was like, yeah, COD's a dead franchise.
It made more sense to grind for it, right? Like,
right?
Because then you have to engage with the game, right?
Right. You have to play the game to unlock the cool shit. Whereas like now, you can just roll and gamble and get a loot crate, and whatever you get is what you get, and you might get something cool. Fuck that, dude. I don't want to gamble while I play video games, dude.
Right.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, Call of Duty fucked up when they went from Modern Warfare 4 they went from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare to Modern Warfare 2, and they took out, like, they put everything into the prestige and into the downloadable content where you would unlock most of the good shit.
Right. Like MW2 was the first time that we saw DLC map packs. I mean, at least like massively, like that was the first time that a lot of people, I think, bought them.
Yeah.
I feel like with that kind of game, if you want cosmetics to be paid for, fine, right? I'm okay with that. If you want, but like when it comes to like weapons and maps, right, that should be something that you have to grind for. Like if you're gonna lock a map, it should be locked behind an experience wall and a skill wall, not behind, hey, I have more money than you.
Right. Not a paywall. And that's the same type of stuff that's going on with like the modern 2K games. I don't know if you guys pay attention to the, like the basketball, like 2K games, but apparently the only way to level up your player efficiently and in like a decent amount of time is to pay for it.
All I know about basketball is that Larry Bird was a dick. Other than that, I have no idea.
I mean, most basketball players are dicks, but
before we spin off,
Larry Bird did have some pretty awful viewpoints, but what a hell of a white basketball player.
Right. Okay. So before we spin off too far, so I think the question Jack asked was if what Payton thought about the crunch in video games, and
you kind of hit on it, Payton, because
There you go.
I'm sorry to interrupt you,
You're good,
Caleb,
man.
but I mean,
Yeah,
like, you
go
kind of
ahead,
hit
start.
on it, Peyton, because you said that gaming should be like a thing of like a thing of passion, and like what you were
That's what I
talking
was gonna
about, how
call
you
out.
like showed up like you showing up early to work like 2 hours early and having the wherewithal to like push through like all of the negative stuff that you're like feeling at work until you get that reward. It's like your choice. And when you have like the strength and the ability to do that, and the environment around you to be able to do that, it can be like a winning thing. But when it's forced upon you, I feel
Yeah,
like,
exactly, right? Like when it's done out of desire and not out of obligation, the results are wildly
yeah,
different.
or like
Yeah.
irregardless of your situation, because it's like, I can see how it like worked for you, and I can definitely see how that can work for like some people.
Yeah, but
But
it
I feel
doesn't
like,
work for everybody, right?
yeah, like disabled people, like they have like a much long, or not disabled, differently abled people have like a much long, like it's hard for them to get up in the morning because they have to like do a million things because they may be like totally, they may be they're wheelchair bound, or they just have like some kind of thing that they have to like take care of that just takes like a long time. They have more
Right.
doctor's appointments. I've known so many people in the gaming sphere that have been like, like fired from their job because like they had to take too much time off work because they were differently able. They had some kind of like, thing that was like coming out of it. Or, they couldn't work as many hours because, they had like family obligations just because of the time of the life that they were living in. And
Right.
so, I mean, like Peyton, like what do you think about like that kind of perspective that you have, like being sort of like weaponized for uh you know capitalism, I guess, or just like for like max productivity?
And this is gonna be our wrap-up question.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right, man. I mean, it's one of the things like it's showing up 2 hours early isn't necessarily a thing to do, but to have the drive to do whatever that means for you and your situation is the
Yeah.
important thing, right? And for some people, that means showing up at all, right? Because some people are going through different shit, right? And
Yeah.
I think we're very quick to judge each other with no context and no consideration, right? And I think that's wildly unfair to most people. But at the same time, like what you were saying about passion versus obligation. The reason that Hideo Kojima's games are so great is because he doesn't show up to work 7 days a week, 18 hours a day because someone's making him do it. He's doing it because he's excited about it, right?
Exactly.
He's like, dude,
Exactly.
I get to go make a fucking video game today, bro. We're gonna make Metal Gear Solid, dude. Like, and he's fucking living for it, right? But if it's like, hey, show up or you're fired, right? Like, I'm gonna show up and do the bare minimum. I'm gonna fuck stuff up on purpose,
Right.
right? But
I mean,
if I have a reason that I'm excited to be here, I'm gonna show up 2 hours early by myself, right?
Right.
I think that's true for most people, right? And I think at the end of the day, a lot of what it is a lot of people are disincentivized, disenfranchised, and disillusioned, right? Because people go out of their way to fuck them over. And I think that I am just very lucky in what I do, that I work for a great company, right?
Yeah.
And that they treat us well and that
right.
they do have it set up for success. And some people, like 1,000 people would tell you the company I work for is a toxic place and all this shit. But from what I've seen, when you are motivated and you do want it, they see that and they love that in you and they motivate you to be that person. And they do it with a lot of money, right? And infinite vacation time, right? and
Infinite
and
vacation
then
sounds great.
yeah, and then well, I mean, like I don't work in January or February,
Wow. Nice.
or half of March, and then I take 3 vacations through the year, right? And they don't say dick to me because I produce. I do what I'm supposed to do. I do what I'm told to do. I do what's asked of me.
Right.
And they don't do like the pizza party bullshit. They're like, hey, whoever sells the most in the next 3 months, I'll buy you a car, right? And then like some dude gets a new C-Class, right?
Right.
Yeah, like last year, or no, yeah.
No. Peyton is gone.
We may have lost Payton.
Okay.
Oh
At
no!
the top 3 resorts, and ours
There he
was
is.
number 1 out of those 3.
Nice.
Payton, we lost you for about 15 seconds there,
Yeah.
my man.
So what was the price?
Sorry.
He's still frozen.
Yeah.
There you are. You are back now, I believe. Nope.
Damn.
All right, guys.
That sucks.
Unfortunately, I have to wrap up this show right here, and I'm so sorry, Payton. Hopefully, you'll join us in post, and we'll have you on soon. This has been a Cox and Space podcast, behind the scenes drawing with Jack. Here with Jack Haynes, our illustrator, who you can find at twitch.tv/Capacio as he streams um, video games. Here with Logan Difford, our
Rocky. Yeah.
writer, producer, and actor, Cox and Space. Myself, Skip Marazi. What's up? And Peyton Richardson has joined us tonight. And man, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been really good to talk with you. I hope that we will get to do it again soon. Oh, looks like you're back.
Hey, I didn't catch most of that. Sorry. I'm out in the
That's okay.
country right now, and my internet connection is dog shit no matter how much money I give them. So.
It's fair. We're about
We're
to,
actually.
I don't care what plan you buy, it fucking sucks.
we're just gonna close out the episode. So do you want to say goodbye to everyone, our viewers?
Yeah, dude, this was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
if you
great
want to have me
meeting you,
back,
man.
I'm always down.
Yeah.
You guys are great. Pleasure as always, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, we will
yeah.
catch up again soon, I hope, as we talk about your book and creative endeavors as well, because I know you have definitely more to talk about. So, thank you for being with us, and we'll catch up more in the after hours. Bye, guys.
See you later.
I'll see you later.